A lawnmower rental is $300 for the first day and $140 for each day after that. Which equation models the cost y of renting for x days? Okay, so we can look at it in a couple ways. Let's first just break it down visually. A lawnmower rental is $300 for the first day. So this is just almost creating like our given list and highlighting the important information. One day is $300. This is just one day. Oops. Okay. And then each day after that, it's plus another $140. So 2 days means plus $140, right? Which ends up being a total cost of $440. But the difference between the two is plus $140. And this goes on and on. So we'll take a look at just a 3-day example, 3 days. So the total now is $440 plus $140, $580. Okay? Now, as I mentioned before, when we're talking about an initial value or starting value, that will always give us the y-intercept. So if our x represents number of days, okay, and our y represents the cost, let's see if we can illustrate this as a graph now. When 1 day passes, it's $300. Let me lower it. Okay, right here. Obviously, when it's 0 days, it's 0 because they haven't rented any lawnmowers. 2 days now increase to 440, which we got earlier, right? By adding 140 each time, 580 for the third day. This is just by kind of graphing a couple of these just to see. So this is sort of what our line will look like. This is the y is equal to something which we need to calculate. Okay, our b value, and then we need to calculate m and x. Now, there's a key thing here that we need to also recognize, that the $300, even when we graph this, originally it was a little kink, right? It was like that, and then it shallowed out a little bit. Well, that's because we don't have this rate for the first day. It just starts as $300. So how can we do that? Well, we say the total cost per day is $140 times x, whatever day it is, right? But minusing the first day, because the first day it's $300. Okay? You could almost think about this like saying, first we always pay $300, right, for the first day. But then there's this extra cost that's encountered for x days, but x minus 1 days, because the first day we already took care of. So the number of extra days, in air quotes, like the number of extra or additional days, is x minus 1. The total number of days minus the first day. And whatever number of days it is, it's going to be multiplied by 140. So the total cost is also 140 times those extra days. Like that. Oh. A video camera rental costs $180 in the first day and $95 for each day after. Which equation models total cost y for x days? Again, we're going to break it down. We're going to say if this is x days, this is our y, which is cost. This is days. Okay? The first day, day 1, right, number of days, is going to be $180. Now the total cost, if there's 2 days, is going to be 180 plus 95. So $275. That's if we're working 2 days or we're renting 2 days. The difference here is plus $95. Please take a look at the example above if this doesn't make sense. Day 3, we're going to do 275 plus the $95 change, so $370. Okay? And you connect. Oops. Should pass through the origin, and the reason is because when 0 days pass, we haven't rented anything, right? So it passes through the origin. $0 cost. Here it's also plus $95. Okay. So, again, 1 day passes, the total cost is $180. That's for 1 day. Then some other amount of days pass, and it's another $95 per those days. Well, now the issue is how many days pass. Well, X is the total days, right? But we're not counting the first day, so -1. That's the remaining days. We can think about it as a simple example. If total days is 5, that's total days, right? 1 day, that's day 1. One of them is $180. And then the other 4 days, the remaining 4 days, right, are $95 per day, so times 4. Right? Or you could think about it as $95 plus 95 plus 95 plus 95 for the 4 days. So the total cost is $180 plus all of this. As you can see, this is what gets calculated as the per day rate of $95. It's actually 5 minus the first day. So the total days minus the first day, which is X minus 1. For tour groups of at least 30 people, a zoo charges $18 per person for the first 30 attendees and $12 for each additional person, which functions give the total cost F at N for N people. Okay, same idea as the problems before. F at N is the total cost for N people. So if 30 people are charged $18 per person. Okay? Well, how much is that? Let's just break that down. The total cost for 30 people, that's going to be 30 times 18, right? Which is $540. So 30 people is $540. Then, if we have 31 or 32 or whatever, 30 plus people is going to be $12 per person. If N represents the total number of people, what equation suits this the best? Okay. So let's say N people, this is the cost. We said if 30 people come, it's $540, no matter what, right? It's a flat rate. And again, if 0 people come, it's $0, so it passes through the origin. Now, any amount after that, we're going to add $12 per person. So it's going to be increasing somewhat. Whatever happens here, and it's going to be plus 12 for every single additional person. Okay? So, initial people, or total cost, is $540 for 30 people, means that the total cost, F at N, is going to be $540 for the first 30 people, plus N minus 30 times the rate per person, which is 12. Why does this work? If we say 61 people came, what's the total cost? Okay, well, we know the first 30 people mean $540. Then the remaining 31 people, well, how much is that? Well, they're going to be 31 times $12 per person, right? So $372. So the total cost is 540 plus 372. Well, how did we get these values? Well, 540 we know, that's the first people. And then notice how this is 31, that's the remaining people. So we took the total number of people, 60, and we subtracted the 30. Or 61, sorry. Subtracted the 30, which gave us 31 people. So our total number, 61n, minus 30 times 12, because that's the rate, plus the 540 for the first 30 people, is equal to F at n.